All right, Boise State and Nevada, also a Friday night matchup here. This one in the Mountain West. Boise State, 22-point road favorites here in Reno, and the total here sitting at 50.5, 51, pretty much across the board. Well, one of my top plays last week in college football couldn't have been any easier. I said UNLV Boise is going to go over the total, and you didn't even have to sweat it. You knew in the second quarter, early second quarter, that over the total.
First quarter, shit. Yeah, well, it was a little slow early, but it was going.
You knew it, and we said it last week, teeing up UNLV Boise State. UNLV is not stopping Boise State's run game. They are not. They are not, and don't be fooled by. And some of their defensive numbers were not that great, and it was against one of the weaker schedules you'll ever see. And UNLV still had mediocre at best defensive numbers, but it was a field day. I mean, Dylan Riley alone had 201 rushing yards for Boise State against UNLV last week. Cameron Bates, Zaire Gaines chipped in. I think what was very, very disheartening for UNLV is that Maddox Madsen looked like Montana against them throwing the ball too. 253 passing yards for Maddox Madsen in that game. And this offense, other than getting shut down on the road by Notre Dame, they've got it humming right now. And South Florida, I still can't believe they only scored 7 against South Florida, but they were just out of sync. But they're not out of sync anymore. Take out USF, take out Notre Dame, those two games. Boise has scored 51, 49, 47, 41, and 56 in every other game. So they've got it rolling right now. The question is going to be, what can Nevada's defense do against it? When you look at the Nevada defensive numbers this year, they're below average. They're 79th in yards per play allowed on defense. They're giving up 156 per game on the ground, 4.2 yards per carry. And you look at this Nevada schedule, Sacramento State, Middle Tennessee State. It hasn't been an overly challenging schedule of opponents offensively. It's gotten a little tougher now. Western Kentucky, I wouldn't say Fresno's a great offense, but they got tested there. And then the last 2 weeks, San Diego State ripped them for 44 points a couple weeks ago. New Mexico ended up with 24 points against them, albeit that was a good competitive loss, 24-22. I will say this. I think there's some hope with Carter Jones, the new starting quarterback for Nevada.
Yeah, better than Purdy, yes.
Way better than Purdy. It's not even a comparison. I think there's a little offense now to Nevada. You know what? I don't trust Nevada to slow down this freight train that is Boise offensively, but I think Nevada might be able to. I keep saying that Boise's defense can be had at times. And even though they pounded UNLV and they scored on almost every possession, they still gave up points. And UNLV moved the football for a good chunk of that game with Calandria. So I don't think it's as good a Boise defense as certainly not as good. I think I'm very confident saying that's not the same Boise defense as last year. I think their defense has taken a step back so far this season. So, the weather at Reno on a Friday night, it looks like wind's not going to be that bad, 10 miles per hour, not much rain. I'm tempted by either over 51 because I think Nevada's offense, I got the arrow pointing up since the quarterback. I'm not saying they're a great offense, but they're better with Carter Jones, in my opinion, at quarterback than Purdy. I'm leaning to the full game over, but maybe also in Nevada, because I think it's not a bad spot for Nevada catching Boise off that big beatdown that gave them the upper hand in the Mountain West standings over UNLV, that maybe Nevada hangs around. I don't know if I trust the defense, so rather than the plus 22, maybe look at a team total over for Nevada here in this game, which is around 13 and a half. It's below the key number of 14. Can Nevada score 14 points at home with a better quarterback now and Carter Jones against this Boise defense and a potential, I don't want to say flat spot, but they put a lot more into that game last week than I'm sure they will here. I think the Nevada team total over at 13 and a half might be worth a look here in this spot. CMAC, what do you think?
Well, and Jones, did he come in or he started the San Diego State game?
Yes, he did. Yeah, that was his first start. Yeah,
that was his first start. Okay.
That one was a struggle, but massive improvement last week. You could see it getting better, more comfortable. Yeah.
I kind of think they could get that too. I mean, it's showing
14 points here. I'll say this about Boise too. They've given up 31 to UNLV, 25 to New Mexico, 14 to App State, 37 to Air Force, 14 to Eastern. They've given up 14 points to everybody this year. And 14 is all we need from Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada. The change is the biggest thing with the quarterback because I think it could help. This offense still is not very good with Nevada. They just are. And the two other home game, Middle Tennessee, 13 points, and San Diego State, 10.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like if Boise gets up, though, they definitely could get at least a late score, have 2 touchdowns in this game.
Yeah.
And I think if you like Boise, and it's showing how with this total, kind of how low it is, but it seems like Boise's going to get their team total. I wouldn't be just going crazy and laying 3 touchdowns, but I still think they can get Nevada at times is, you know, against some of these teams is hung around. Some of these have been bad offenses. But it seems like Boise gets that. So why mess around? Lay the 3 touchdowns, just take their team total in this game. I think they could get there.